If I ask you who is the most recognized personality in the world at the moment, what would your reaction be? Some of you might say Volodymyr Zelensky or Vladimir Putin. Former US President Donald Trump is never far away from the headlines either. And never does a day go by without the mention of Elon Musk. But the topic of conversations across schools, offices over the past week has been around one man. For some, he is a magician. For some, he is God. And for many, he is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I'm obviously talking about Lionel Messi. Welcome to Gravitas Plus. My name is Priyanka Sharma. On Sunday, the 18th of December, Messi led Argentina to a third Football World Cup title. I think everyone is aware of how that match panned out. Argentina were up against defending champions France. Messi, the reigning king of football, against the man tipped to be his heir, France's Kylian Mbappe. Both players delivered a masterclass on the biggest stage possible. Messi scored twice for Argentina. Mbappe woke up a slumbering France in the nick of time and sent the game to extra time with 2 goals. And rescued his side again with the 119th minute penalty. The greatest World Cup final of all time went down to penalties. In the end, Argentina won, leaving both Messi and Mbappe in tears. The World Cup is the pinnacle of football, but it's also a burden, especially for someone like Lionel Messi, who has dominated the sport since 2008. It was his 5th and final World Cup, and time was running out. The path to sporting immortality went through the World Cup, and the 35-year-old's emotions at the end of that shootout told the story. His teammates ran towards goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. Messi sank to the ground as emotions took over. His teammates made a beeline for him. This was a team effort, but the 25 other players and members of the backroom staff knew that for him, this meant much more. Messi scored 7 goals during the course of the tournament. That performance saw him honoured with the Golden Ball for Player of the Tournament. It's the first time a player has won it twice. Make no mistake, Qatar 2022 will forever be remembered as Messi's World Cup. 36 years ago, another magician by the name of Diego Armando Maradona had led Argentina to the summit of world football. It elevated him to godlike status in the football-mad country. No amount of controversy would diminish the love that Argentines had for the man they considered him the most humane of their gods. I'm not exaggerating. For all his achievements individually and for Barcelona, Messi was always second best behind the great Diego. He had left the country as a 13-year-old, and his footballing skills and philosophy were fashioned at Barcelona in Spain. On the 18th of December, a grateful nation finally accepted him as one of their own. Look at these pictures now and tell me, they don't give you goosebumps. Have you ever seen anything like this, a spontaneous outpouring of emotion, a sea of blue and white at the obelisk in Buenos Aires? They forgot their problems, the inflation and the internal squabbles. This was what mattered. On Tuesday, the 20th of December, Messi and his world champions landed back in Argentina. The anticipation had been building. The government had declared a national holiday. Over 5 million people thronged the streets of Buenos Aires. They wanted to see their champions. They held up banners displaying Messi and Maradona together. The player, once dubbed the Little Flea, had joined the pantheon of greats. And who better than the great Pep Guardiola to shift us towards the GOAT debate? That was under him. It was under him that Messi broke through and established himself as a global superstar. Today, he has earned admission into the most exclusive club in football. It doesn't exist anywhere except in the realm of perception. Over the course of the last 50 years, just 2 players had been part of this conversation: Brazil's Pelé and Argentina's Maradona. Add another name to this exalted list now, Lionel Messi. No arguments there whatsoever. All through his career, Messi has had one great rival. To get to the top, he had to first become the greatest of this generation. And whatever Messi could do, Cristiano Ronaldo could do as well. It was a rivalry that divided people, just like the Pelé-Maradona debate. Messi had 793 goals across club and international football. Ronaldo has 819, and he is the top scorer in international football. With 141 goals, Ronaldo is the top scorer in the Champions League. Messi has 129. Messi has won a total of 42 trophies, and this also included the Olympic gold in 2008. Ronaldo has 34 titles, and this includes the Euro 2016 and the 2019 UEFA Nations League. But he doesn't have a World Cup in his trophy cabinet. Neither did Portugal reach a World Cup final across the 5 editions that Ronaldo featured in. You see, sport can be cruel, but it is fair. You always have a winner and a loser. The Messi versus Ronaldo debate has been settled at Qatar 2022. Finally, Messi has landed the knockout punch that has sent Ronaldo to the canvas. It wasn't just about goals and the statistics. Both players have their own strengths and skill sets. Messi was blessed with natural talent and played in one of the greatest teams of all time at Barcelona. Ronaldo had talent as well, but it was his sheer hard work and pursuit of excellence that took him to the top. He always had a stubborn streak in him that led to fallouts with managers and teammates, but that was all pushed to the background, simply because his numbers spoke for themselves. He was a match winner for Manchester United, for Real Madrid and then Juventus in Italy. But Ronaldo finally came up against an opponent who wouldn't budge and who pushed back. Remember, Ronaldo is 2 years older and the decline has been alarming over the course of the season. He fell out of favour with Erik ten Hag at Manchester United and was largely introduced off the bench. But the champion in him refused to quit. An ill-advised, no-holds-barred interview ahead of the World Cup saw Manchester United finally wash their hands off him. But those issues didn't subside. In fact, they followed him to the World Cup. Ronaldo's penchant for the theatrics and his petulance led to the unthinkable. Manager Fernando Santos benched him for every subsequent game after the group stage. Never before had a Portugal coach dared to drop Ronaldo. He was omnipresent. But football isn't a game of egos, especially not the World Cup. The Portugal team played better without him, but still went out in the quarterfinals. Ronaldo departed the tournament in tears. The man who ruled world football at his pomp is today persona non grata. No one wants him in Europe, despite him being a free agent. He has been training with his old club, Real Madrid, in a bid to stay fit, and he has also had to watch his great rival lift the one trophy that he could never get his hands on. There hasn't been a congratulatory message to his great rival as yet. Let's talk about Lionel Messi now. He has always steered clear of controversy. Yes, he had had his moments of frustration. Perhaps the World Cup quest demanded a nasty Messi, as we saw in the feisty quarterfinal against the Netherlands. So then, is he the greatest? His individual achievements mean that the great Maradona may have finally been eclipsed. The great man will be smiling down from a better world. They had a relationship based on mutual respect. But there is also another contender, FIFA's player of the 20th century, Pelé. The Brazilian won 3 World Cup titles in 1958, 1962 and 1970. He was football's original global superstar, and that legacy is intact even today. Comparing generations is always a rather hopeless affair. Messi has played in Europe all his career. Pelé played all his football in Brazil with Santos. He did come out of retirement and play for the New York Cosmos. There is no official tally of Pelé's goals, but he still is Brazil's leading international scorer with 77, a record he shares now with Neymar. Football statisticians are divided over how many goals Pelé has actually scored. The Guinness Book of World Records pegs Pelé's goals at 1,279. FIFA initially tabulated Pelé's tally to be 1,281, but has over the years pegged it at more than 1,200. Remember, no player in the history of football has won the 3 world titles that Pelé did. And that's where this debate currently stands. Lionel Messi is without a doubt the greatest football player of the modern generation. Pelé stands head and shoulders above those who played in his generation. Maradona dragged an average Argentina team to the 1986 world title. Both Pelé and Messi played alongside great players, both at the club and national level. It's these 3 who are the GOAT contenders. We believe it, and many of you fans may disagree, that Messi has edge ahead of his idol Maradona. Individual honours can't be compared across generations. Pelé was never eligible for the Ballon d'Or. Neither was the FIFA World Player of the Year award around then. Pelé was chosen as the International Olympic Committee's Athlete of the Century despite having not competed at the Olympics. So it comes down to perhaps the only denominator common between Pelé and Messi, the Football World Cup. Pelé has 3 of those. Messi won his first in 2022. Ultimately, I leave the choice up to you.